What's going on, guys? It's Luke22SV here, back with the 14th round of the Season 2 of the Mick Schumacher career mode. We're here for the Italian Grand Prix this weekend. Not with any upgrades coming into this weekend, so we don't know where we're going to be in qualifying, but this seems to be a track that we do excel at. Of course, we did well in qualifying here last season, but of course we went backwards in the race because of the wet conditions, really, not really favouring our car at the time. But coming into this weekend off the back of a recovery drive in Spa and actually extending our championship lead as well back to 28 points, we've got the advantage coming into this weekend. Red Bull have tended to be struggling at these sort of tracks where the high speed is crucial, and we've got a good engine. We've got basically an all-round package at the moment, so we should be quite strong coming into this weekend. Ferrari perhaps should be our main rivals. Not really sure where Renault will be, but here we are onto our main lap. Coming onto it now, we're just braking nice and early for turn 1 and getting a good exit out of turn 1. Probably our weakest corner on this track is just either brake too early or too late, and the rears tend to lock up a little bit. But coming around now to next chicane, just tends to be chicanes and right-handers on this circuit. But Valtteri Bottas going fastest at the moment. We go nice and cleanly through that chicane over the curbs. Good little chicane there. No problems there. We can come through Lesmo 1, nice and tight, and then coming out onto Lesmo 2. It was a very clean lap as well, and almost getting onto the gravel, but just about missing it and just hitting the sweet spot on the exit. Getting DRS as open early as possible. Coming up to the Ascari chicane, and now we're going to be up by quite some margin on Valtteri Bottas as well as we go through Ascari. And this is lap going to be good enough to get us near the front of the grid as we get a good exit out of Ascari. Coming up to Parabolica, Kimi Raikkonen goes on to provisional pole. He might be a good reference to see where we are on the grid today as we come around Parabolica now. And this was probably the worst part of the lap. We just kind of got a bit wide, but this was our main lap, so we were happy with it. And Daniel Ricciardo actually went into provisional pole, despite me just saying that Red Bull won't seem so strong around here. But we go into provisional pole, and now we're going to end the session with that. And is that going to be good enough for P1? And indeed it is going to be good enough with Vettel in P2, a few tenths behind. And then you can see Hamilton, Leclerc, Perez, Ocon, and then Raikkonen, and then Hülkenberg, and then Daniel Ricciardo down in P9. So I was right about Red Bull not being too good around this track, actually. Max Verstappen down to P14, so again, Verstappen can't get into the top 10 in probably one of the best cars on the grid for about 2 races running. So disaster for Max Verstappen, but he's now fallen out of the championship fight anyway. It's basically a 2-horse race between myself and Ricciardo, but Red Bull just aren't developing their car at the moment the same way we are. So we're heading into the race then for the Italian Grand Prix, our 3rd pole position of the season. We haven't been able to convert any of the pole positions into wins yet, so we'll be hoping to convert this one, our 3rd pole position of this career mode and of this season as well. So we're looking to convert. We've got an Italian car pretty much. If this was 2019 season, which it basically is, we'd be driving the Alfa Romeo car, but it's basically it's the Sauber at the moment, but of course Italian name, Italian, basically it's just Italian, but yeah. We go onto the grid then, and we can see ourselves lining up alongside Sebastian Vettel, who is driving an Italian car, of course. And then you can see Hamilton in P3, Leclerc in P4, and then Perez and Ocon on row 3 in the Racing Points or Force Indias. And then Raikkonen, and then Hülkenberg, Ricciardo, Sainz, Bottas, Gasly. And then you can see Magnussen, and then Verstappen, Grosjean, and Alonso. And then Stroll doing well, and then Hartley and Sirotkin and Van Dorn rounding off the grid as usual. And now we head on to the start of the race then for the Italian Grand Prix. We know how good the AI are off the start, so we might be on the back foot here. We might lose a few places depending on how good our launch is. And it's lights out and away we go for the Italian Grand Prix. And straight away Vettel gets a good start, Hamilton, Leclerc, everyone, Perez, Ocon. We're looking behind us straight away. If we lose 3 places going into turn 1, we dive down the inside of Hamilton and Leclerc, and straight away we get past both of those guys. So we're up into P2 then straight away, and look how fast Sebastian Vettel is already, and that's a great start for him and great start for the Ferrari. But Leclerc now fighting us up towards the next chicane. Can we stay ahead of him into the next corner? Yes, we do. Ideal. So we we go off the track and make a little mistake, and we have to concede the position to Leclerc, and Leclerc goes back up into P2. So not the best start for us as well. We wanted to convert this pole into a win, Now we're on the back foot with 2 cars ahead of us, and Vettel with a hell of a start. He's already a few miles down the road by the looks of it on our screen, as Hamilton's in P4 in Mercedes, which is not really a good car at the moment. But then you can see we go through Ascari, getting a much better exit than Leclerc, and straight away can we get onto the back of him and get a move as quickly as possible. We want to show that we've got a good race pace as well as qualifying pace around here, and convert this pole into a win. As we can see, we go right close into Leclerc, going into the Parabolica, coming up into lap 2. We can get a nice tow here. Surely this could be a good move for P2. We get a nice tow, and we're going to the outside, and we go straight past him before we get even close to the corner, and we retake P2. We just get a much better exit out of Parabolica and retake P2. And Sebastian Vettel is our next target for the lead of this race, as we'll go back to the replay of the start just a second. And now we're going to see the replay. As you can see, everyone got away so much better than what we did. As you can see, Vettel got past us almost immediately, and Leclerc, Hamilton, and then both the Force Indias were trying to challenge us as well. But we were aggressive into turn 1, which is what we had to be. We got back past Hamilton and then back past Leclerc, but coming up to this chicane, we just got it all wrong. We just broke a little bit too late, got a bit out of shape, then had to concede the position to Leclerc, as we had to go off to the runoff area and over the sleeping policeman. As you can see, we just went over there, then coming back on, and then P3, and Hamilton was fighting with the Force India, so we didn't lose another position, luckily for us. So P3 at the end of lap 1, but we got up to P2 almost immediately. Now moving on to lap 3, the end of lap 3, we got Sebastian Vettel right in front of us. We're going to be looking to make a move past him almost immediately. Come around Parabolica, and surely this could be a move for P1 here. We managed to catch up with him in the last couple of laps, and surely we can get a DRS overtake into turn 1. We've got DRS wide open now, and we're going past him into turn 1, surely. Yes, we do. We get past him, and now we're going to get settled for first place in this race. And you're going to have to ignore that audio at the moment. It's out of sync, which is thanks to the upload studio, really getting it all wrong, and which is a shame. But here we are. We're in the lead of this race. We've managed to take the lead back. We've taken us a couple of laps as well. So the evidence that we've got the good race pace here that we thought we had. And we got the lead back from Sebastian Vettel, but he's going to be challenging us if he can get DRS past Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2, which is the activation point, the detection point here. And he's going down the inside, actually, Sebastian Vettel, but we shut the door. He's not going to get past into Lesmo 2. Is he going to get DRS going up towards the Ascari? He's surely going to get an overtake here. He goes to the inside, and Sebastian Vettel, is he going to retake the lead of the Italian Grand Prix? He's got the overtake. We cut back underneath and straight away retake the lead of this race. So Vettel challenging us for the lead. We retake the position, and we're back in P1 for this race. And surely we can pull away now, hopefully. Is he going to keep up with us with DRS again on the start and finish straight? Which just tends to be a whole... He's going to be able to keep up with us because of this DRS. And now Leclerc's closing in as well. So is Leclerc going to be able to challenge Vettel for P2? Or is Vettel going to be able to challenge us for P1? We'll see now as we go down towards the start, the first corner. And you can see we're going to be able to keep hold of P1 for the time being. And hopefully we can pull away now, as we're going to be able to pit this lap for a new set of soft tyres. And hopefully we're going to be able to pull away now from Vettel. He's going to be fighting with Leclerc. He's got Leclerc in his mirrors. And maybe we can get a Sauber 1-2 at this race, which would be good news for us. Leclerc qualified in P4, I think it was, but he's had a good start then to this race. Vettel looking strong. He's been quite strong in the recent few races, of course. Me and Vettel, of course, had a little incident in Spa where we didn't even collide. We just both kind of got in each other's way and ended up forcing ourselves down to the back of the grid. But luckily for us, no incidents have happened in this race. Vettel's been on fine form in the last few races, as has Hulkenberg, really. All the German drivers have been basically the best of the grid, and Leclerc's been quite strong as well. So coming towards the end of this lap, we're going to be boxing, and as you can see now on the top left corner, Leclerc is now up into P2. So Leclerc's managed to get past Sebastian Vettel, and we're going to be boxing this lap. So it's a Sauber 1-2. So we're going to have to be watching in our mirrors potentially if Leclerc is going to be able to challenge us. And we come into the pits then to pit on these new soft tyres. As we get down to the pit limiter, just about. Vettel gets to the pit limiter much quicker than us, and he's closed in a lot actually, just by a few seconds. So we're going to be hoping for the best pit stop possible here, and well, Vettel's going to be hoping for the best one as well. as we get into the soft tyres, and Vettel's away already. Are we going to get out in front of him? Yes, we are. So we just about get ahead of him. And now we get out of the pits. We're going to be on these soft tyres, but they're going to be cold. So we're just going to make sure we get these as much heat as possible into these tyres, and hopefully we can get a good outlap, and hopefully we can stay ahead of Leclerc as well, which is the target. Come out and in, we lock up straight away just on these cold tyres, and that's going to get Vettel well interested on the exit of turn 1. As you can see, he's got a nice little toe. Is he going to be able to pull off a move like he did on Fernando Alonso many years ago? Not quite. But we go into the next chicane and see in front of us Sirotkin and the man himself, Fernando Alonso, fighting over P10 at this point. As you can see, we should be able to get past Sirotkin. Hopefully he doesn't hold us up too much. Otherwise Leclerc will be snatched away P1 from myself. And then we can see here we've got DRS, and we should be able to comfortably get ahead of Sergei Sirotkin. And hopefully we can put a buffer between ourselves and Vettel just for a few corners, which would really help. Could easily gain us a couple of seconds, perhaps with the Williams being as off the pace as it is. And we get past Sirotkin, and then you see Vettel's now going to have to get past him himself. And then you can see Alonso's now our next target in the McLaren, and we're quickly going to be on the back of him as well. A nice little toe, just proving how powerful our engine is at the moment. We get past him, and now we're up into P10. And now we're just got to focus on everyone else will be coming into the pits, and our next target will be seeing if Leclerc is going to get out in front of us, or whether we've got a good enough outlap to stay in P1 and retain our lead. So as you can see, Leclerc is coming out of the pits. We go to get a little bit of a toe perhaps from him, and we retain P1. But Leclerc, is he going to retain P2? It does look like he has. And Leclerc's right behind us actually. So Leclerc in P2, Vettel P3, and it looks like that might be a Williams in P4 as well. So Sirotkin hasn't pitted yet, and we lead this race still. And moving on to lap 8. We've actually got a bit of a gap now to Leclerc for over a second, and Vettel's in P3. So we're in control of this race at the moment, not really having too many problems, and we should be able to settle for perhaps P1 and P2, and hopefully we can stay away from Leclerc, although he is on a lap fresher tyres at the moment. So we have to keep that in mind, because maybe our tyres, when they start to go away, Leclerc's will still be fairly fresh, and maybe he'll be able to challenge us for P1 in this race. We were hoping he will be settling for P2, but Leclerc maybe wants to fight for the championship as well. He is a fair few points behind now, but he might want to, hopefully if we have a bad race or so, it could easily change things up. Could easily put Ricciardo and Leclerc back in contention, maybe Verstappen as well. Who knows how this championship is going to end this season. We've got ourselves with Singapore Grand Prix coming up, which could easily throw us into a wall, or anyone else into a wall, so that could easily throw up a surprise. And then you've got the likes of Japan, Brazil, Mexico, all those sort of races can throw up wet weather as well, and could easily have a mixed result there as we come around to end lap 8 then, and it's going to be a good lap for us, and we've got a comfortable lead over Leclerc at this point. So we've got now a gap of about 1.5 seconds, which is good enough. We're out of DRS, so we're hopefully we can continue this up to the end of this race and not have to worry too much about Charles Leclerc catching us up. So Leclerc then still falling back a bit, so we've got this race in the bag at this point, so we just have to keep going the way we are, and hopefully we can bring home a pole position to win, and that'll be ideal for us. A good result. We come towards the next chicane. We've still got 1.5 seconds. Vettel not really got the pace, so Ferrari haven't had the race pace in this race to compete with the Saubers, and we go wide there at Lesmo 1. So maybe Leclerc will be interested in catching us up if we keep making mistakes like that. And coming on to lap 11, we're going through Lesmo 2 now, and Leclerc has got interested. He has closed in a little bit now, and he's interested in closing in and overtaking us then for the win of this race. So with 2.5 laps to go, we've got Leclerc closing in on us, and he's less than a second behind now. So it's going to be a two-way fight in the last 2 laps. Who's going to win this race out of myself and Leclerc? We'll find out in these last 2 laps, but he's now closing in a lot, and we just got to make sure we can't lose this position, because we really want to get this convert this pole into a win for the first time. Otherwise, if we get a pole position, we might as well just not bother. As you can see, there's a yellow flag in one of the cars. It looks like a Mercedes of Hamilton has actually ended this race in retirement. And Leclerc now has got DRS, and he's closing in on us into turn 1. As you can see, we get the good exit, but Leclerc is now going to get that toe, that all-important toe around here. He's going to keep him really close to us, and perhaps allow him to overtake us as we come up to the next corner. Can't get the words out of my mouth there, but we come up to the next chicane. He's really right behind us now to go through the corner, and he's still closing in on us here. We can see the on board with Leclerc. He's now going to be interested in making a move on the next straight with DRS. If he can get a good exit out of Les Mode 2, that we're going to be in a lot of trouble with just a lap and a half to go in this race. Can Leclerc spoil it for us? Because that's, well, what he's done a few times in this career mode. We had this incident last season where Leclerc just went straight on at this corner, but Leclerc challenging and he's gone into the lead. Perhaps as we hang it around the outside and we stay in P1. So we've got to make sure Leclerc doesn't get past us, but he's got a tow coming up to the Parabolica, another overtaking opportunity. He goes to the outside, we go to the inside to defend, and coming up to the final corner, we do stay ahead for the time being, but with just a lap to go and so many DRS overtaking opportunities, surely it's only a matter of time before Leclerc can actually overtake us. Surely he's going to get DRS here into turn 1. Is he going to be able to make the move into turn 1? He's got DRS. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Go down into turn 1. He's got the inside line. We've got the outside line, and we managed to stay ahead just for the time being, just about. And Leclerc now going to get another tow, going up to the next chicane. Surely now might be an overtaking opportunity. We go to the inside to defend, and now Leclerc is just still behind us, still trying to spot the opportunity to overtake, and still can't get past us. So we hold ourselves into P1 for the time being. Two Saubers, well, the two Alfa Romeos, two Italian cars fighting for the win on the last lap of the race. And you can see we're in P1, going into Les Mode 2. We go a bit wide, and that's going to allow Leclerc so much interest as well. Leclerc takes the lead of this race, and Leclerc has got the lead after a mistake from us again in Les Mode 2, which has been a weak corner for us. Can we get past him back again? We've got the tow, but Leclerc's got the lead. And now we've only got one overtaking opportunity into Parabolica to make sure we can retake this lead, which is what we're going to do. We've got the tow on here. We've got a better exit out of Ascari. We go to the outside to make the overtaking opportunity into the last corner, Parabolica corner. We take the lead again back from Leclerc. We retake the lead. I mean, we're going to win this race after a huge battle in the last 2 laps to cross the line as P1 ahead of Charles Leclerc in P2. And a superb win for us. And what a race for both of the Sauber guys there. I think Frederick Vasseur was probably holding his breath there, hoping that none of us would collide and take ourselves out of this race. But we managed to bring the cars home in P1 and P2. All 3 Italian cars on the podium then in this race. Frederick Vasseur delighted. He's getting really used to winning now. Just so much that he's just using the same animation every time he wins a race. And we're using the same animation as well as we get onto the podium. And you can see Vettel was happy with P3. We're happy with P1. Again, we lift that trophy. Leclerc, probably that round of applause for us was had a bit something else of a meaning to it. But we're happy with that. We're happy with P1. We're happy with Leclerc in P2 and Ricciardo down in P7. So we're going to be miles ahead now, surely, in the Drivers' Championship. Verstappen not even getting into the points. Brendan Hartley getting Driver of the Day. Pierre Gasly getting some more points as well for Toro Rosso. As you can see, we got a 47-point gap now in the championship. Leclerc is almost going to be our nearest rival at this rate. He's now 53 points behind, but 6 points behind Daniel Ricciardo. And now we can see the constructors with 10 points clear of Red Bull, or it might be a few more points than that. But Renault are up to P3 ahead of Mercedes, which is what we expected in the last race. We said that. And well, they can see the constructors looking in our favour. We're delighted with that result. And another 1-2-4 Sauber. It's going to be a great result for us. I don't think that was 10 points. We can't be surely 10 points clear of Red Bull, but we're much further away from that, from them than that. As you can see, Leclerc's miles ahead of Verstappen as well. Hulkenberg climbing the standings and Vettel climbing the standings, as we said a few days ago. But that's going to be the end of the episode there. Thank you, and I'll see you in a couple of days.